A child was born in a small village in Germany. But why was he not just any child? And how did he become one of the most significant figures in German literature? Who was Christoph Martin Wieland, and why do his words leave such a powerful impact? As a young man studying law, how did he manage to captivate all of Europe with satire and fantastical works? Today, we will journey through Wieland's life, his writings, and the astonishing literary world of his time. He befriended books, reading both classical and contemporary literature, which helped him develop a broader perspective on the world. At a young age, his satirical and fantastic stories captivated not only Germany, but all of Europe. His works offered readers both entertainment and thoughtful reflection, exploring human nature, morality, and the subtleties of society. Are you ready? Let's begin. Fact 1. From child to star, Wieland's early years. On September 5, 1733, a child was born in Oberholzheim, Germany, Christoph Martin Wieland. He was not just any child. His family had a deep passion for literature and music. His father was a church music teacher, and books and stories were always at the center of their home. As a child, Wieland constantly observed the world around him, watching people and nature, drawing inspiration from every little detail. This curiosity and observational skill laid the foundation for his future works in satire, fantastical stories, and drama. As he grew, words became not only a means of communication, but also a way to express his thoughts, emotions, and the issues of his time. Christoph Martin Wieland's early years established the building blocks of his creative world. Fact 2. A young mind shaped by intelligence and education. Christoph Martin Wieland, born in Germany in 1733, attracted attention from an early age for his exceptional intelligence. His childhood was immersed in science and literature. He befriended books and gained deep knowledge in nature, philosophy, and classical literature. His early education, both at home and at school, was broad and diverse. His ability to read and write in Latin, Greek, and modern languages shaped his worldview. As a young man, he did not limit himself to scientific knowledge, but also pursued literature, writing poetry, and essays. Wieland's intellect and analytical thinking allowed him to skillfully combine both romantic and classical influences in his later works. The extensive education and sharp mind he developed in his youth made Christoph Martin Wieland not only a talented writer of his time, but also a figure who left a lasting impact on European literature. Fact 3. The influence of romantic and classical literature. From a young age, Christoph Martin Wieland was shaped by both romantic and classical literature. He studied Greek and Roman mythology, carefully reading the works of Homer and Ovid. At the same time, the emotional and nature-inspired descriptions of German romantic poets captured his heart. For Wieland, classical and romantic literature opened the doors to complementary worlds, one governed by classical rules and logic, the other by romantic feelings and free imagination. These influences became a source of inspiration for his later works in fantasy, satire, and drama, allowing every piece to convey both aesthetic beauty and emotional depth. Fact 4. Wieland's unique and rich literary style. Christoph Martin Wieland's literary style was both simple and rich in vivid descriptions. He remained faithful to the rules of classical literature, drawing inspiration from Greek and Roman mythology, while skillfully blending satire and fantastical elements in his works. His language was fluid and rhythmic, and his imagery was lively and detailed. Readers didn't just read the story, they felt it, immersing themselves in the world of his characters. Wieland entertained with humor and irony while conveying deep philosophical and ethical ideas. This style allowed him to create works that were both enjoyable and thought-provoking, harmoniously combining classical rules with romantic and fantastical elements. Fact 5. Oberon, a world of fantasy and adventure. One of Christoph Martin Wieland's most famous works, Oberon, is considered the pinnacle of his literary creativity. This work combines the mystical and magical worlds of Arab and European folklore, taking readers on a magnificent fantasy journey. The story follows Oberon, a magical king, and the adventures of the heroes surrounding him. Wieland's goal goes beyond mere entertainment. He explores human character, morality, and integrity throughout the tale. Oberon provides a captivating literary experience for both children and adults, significantly influencing the development of the fantasy genre in Europe. The language is rich, and the imagery is vivid and detailed. Readers feel as though they enter Oberon's magical realm and experience each hero's trials alongside them. This work demonstrates how Wieland harmoniously combined romantic and classical influences to leave an unforgettable legacy in the world of fantasy, weaving themes of adventure, friendship, love, and justice throughout the story. Fact 6. Wieland's perspective on the French Revolution. Christophe Martin Wieland showed great interest in the French Revolution that unfolded at the end of the 18th century. He admired the revolution's core principles of liberty, equality, and fraternity. Yet he remained cautious of the violence and chaos it unleashed. For Wieland, politics and literature were intertwined. He viewed the revolution not just as a political event, but also as a profound lesson on human nature and social justice. In his writings, he illuminated both the successes and failures of the revolution with subtle critique and satire, encouraging readers to reflect on moral and civic responsibility. Wieland supported the ideals of the French Revolution while sharply criticizing its ruthless and bloody aspects. This balanced perspective reflects his romantic and classical literary sensibilities, presenting him as both a thoughtful observer and a cautionary voice in European literature. Fact 7. Friends and influences. Christophe Martin Wieland was an active member of the intellectual circles of his time. Many of his friends and colleagues were influential figures in German literature and culture. Wieland exchanged ideas with renowned writers and philosophers such as Goethe, Herder, and Lessing, which enriched his own creative work. These friendships influenced his thinking, enabling him to blend classical and romantic styles seamlessly. Moreover, Wieland's works inspired other writers, and his literary approach, which combined tradition and innovation, contributed significantly to the development of 18th century German literature. His interactions with friends reflected not only personal relationships, but also an intellectual network that shaped literary history. Fact 8. Family and love. Christophe Martin Wieland's personal life was as fascinating as his literary career. He showed deep devotion to his family and close friends, valuing love and companionship highly. His romantic experiences also inspired the human emotions depicted in his works. Throughout different periods, he formed close relationships with individuals who influenced and enriched his literary style. His marriages and romantic connections were not merely personal experiences, but also helped him portray human psychology and emotions with subtlety. Wieland's family served as a calm and supportive foundation in his life, and this love and encouragement were reflected in his writings. He also maintained warm, familial relationships with friends and colleagues, positively impacting their lives and creative work. Consequently, Wieland's family and love life made his literary and intellectual world richer, more human, and profound. Fact 9. Later years of his life. Christophe Martin Wieland's later years were both rich and productive. As he aged, he focused on deeper and more reflective themes in his literary work, incorporating his life experiences and knowledge into his writings. During this period, Wieland also served as a mentor and advisor, guiding young writers and thinkers. Although his health declined with age, his intellect and creativity remained vibrant, and he retained respect and influence in the literary world. His works from this period are filled with profound reflections on the meaning of life, human nature, and spirituality. Wieland also devoted more time to his personal life and family, maintaining close and sincere relationships with relatives and friends. Even in his final years, Christophe Martin Wieland continued to contribute meaningfully to society and literature, leaving a lasting legacy in the cultural and literary spheres. His later years exemplified the depth and greatness of both the man and the writer. Fact 10. Death and final years. Christophe Martin Wieland lived a long and productive life, leaving a profound mark on the literary world. Although his health declined with age, his mind and creativity remained sharp. In his final years, he spent more time with his family and close friends, directing his writing and thoughts toward more reflective and deeper themes. Wieland passed away in 1805, a great loss to those around him, while the literary world continued to remember his works and the inspiration he provided for generations. Though his life ended, His writings, knowledge, and ideas remain an enduring legacy for future generations. Wieland's life and death left a deep impression on those who remember him as both a great writer and a remarkable human being. The life and works of Christoph Martin Wieland showcase the power of literature and the depth of human creativity. His story inspires us and encourages reflection. If you enjoy fascinating historical stories like this, subscribe to our channel and don't miss the next story. Like the video, leave a comment, and share it with your friends. Let's explore the mysterious and fascinating world of history together.